Hey you guys, it's Watcher Ralph, and this is Game of Thrones Finds a Way. And today we're going to talk about Jaime Lannister's arc, because his storyline is a perfect example of the show subverting all expectations. Because when we were first introduced to Jaime, he was basically the most unredeemable character. In the first episode, we find out how arrogant he is, and that he is betraying the king because he's sleeping with the queen, who happens to be his twin sister. So yes, incest is going on, and in order to keep their secret hidden, he basically tries to kill a child. So like I said, probably the most unredeemable character. And then it is reiterated over and over that Jaime Lannister is probably the greatest swordsman that is living at the time. So as a viewer, at that point you start to believe that his storyline will basically be the typical villain, the big baddie, the big sword fight towards the end. And initially we thought that it was going to be against Ned Stark. They even teased us with it. So it built that want and need to see him. But of course, that really didn't turn out the way we thought it would. But we still believed that we were going to get to see Jaime Lannister fight at his best. And of course, the show decided to subvert all expectations when this happened. And I'll admit that when I first saw this, I felt robbed. I felt robbed of all the potential of witnessing Jaime's masterful swordplay. But then of course the show chose to take him down a different path. A path that meant that he wasn't gonna be the bad guy. No, he was gonna be the good guy. And we were gonna see him on a road to redemption. And it just felt so much richer and deeper than I could have ever expected. So even though I lost the chance to see the greatest swordsman, instead I get to see a great man use a sword with purpose for other than himself, which to me means so much more. And during this, we get to see him hit rock bottom. But because of that, we get to see a whole other side of him. Because he confesses to Brianna Tarth that he became the Kingslayer, not because he is a man with no honor that would backstab a king. No, instead, he is a man filled with so much honor that he was willing to break his oath and backstab his king in order to save everyone in King's Landing. So this supposed selfish man was willing to sacrifice his reputation. And that's the beauty of the show. You expect it to go one way, and it takes you a totally different, fulfilling way. So there's much more to him than just a man that does incest and tries to kill a child. Yeah, that's still a part of him, but he's more than that. In order to show how much he's changed, Jaime's arrival to Winterfell in the first episode of Season 8 is meant to mirror his arrival in the first episode of Season 1. Because back in Season 1, he arrived reveling in all the pageantry, basking in all the adulation of the crowd, with a sense of arrogance and entitlement, covered in golden armor, with his guard fully up. But now he arrives alone, vulnerable, and humbled by his experiences, as he has stripped himself of all that glamour that was guarding him before. And it is clear that Jaime will be tested even further in Season 8. Episode 1 had Jaime come face to face with the most despicable act he's ever committed in his life. And it seems as though the second episode will have him go through more trials and tribulations. Heavy emphasis on the word trials. And all the while, Bran will be looming in the background, haunting Jaime of the past. But no worries, I don't believe this is where Jaime's journey will end. Because to me, there are really two possible outcomes for him. But if you want to check that out, you should check out my video on the death of Cersei, and you'll see what part Jaime may play in that, fulfilling the theme of the broken soldier. Or you could check out my videos on Azor Ahai, fulfilling the Messiah theme, because Jaime Lannister is one of the possible candidates for that prophecy, the prince or princess that was promised. And finally, we get to see him fight for the right side during the battle against the White Walkers. But on that note, all I'll mention here are two possible reasons. One being, Jaime has definitely gotten the whole Messiah look down packed. And the other reason has to do with the translation of the prophecy, because it is said that Azor Ahai will come with a flaming sword called Lightbringer. But it could also be interpreted as a flaming hand called Lightbringer. Which makes things a little intriguing. But if you don't happen to know about the prophecy Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised, leave your comments down below. Let's continue the conversation. You could share, like, and subscribe. And you can check out my videos on Azor Ahai and everything about Game of Thrones finds a way by clicking up here. Plus, you can check out some more of my theories by clicking down here. Till we meet again, goodbye. See you guys.